How could this be? When her husband had passed away many years ago, her faith had carried her through decades of fasting and prayer, and now Ngozi was an 80-year-old widow who had long resigned herself to a life without children. After decades of miscarriages and heartbreak, she had accepted that motherhood was a dream beyond her reach. She had slowly withdrawn from the community after years of failed pregnancies and multiple miscarriages. The villagers whispered about her, believing that spiritual forces had stolen her children over the years, preventing her from carrying a child to full term. Despite her pain, Ngozi remained a pillar of strength, known for her deep faith, wisdom, and knowledge of herbal remedies. She lived a quiet life in her village, relying on her belief in God and the power of prayer. One day, a mysterious stranger came to her door. The ancient healer, a figure who rarely appeared in the village, offered her a pouch of herbs, instructing her to brew them into tea. "This will bring you peace," he said, his voice thick with wisdom and mystery. Desperate for solace, Ngozi followed his instructions. She drank the tea that night, not knowing that her life was about to change in ways she could never have imagined. That night, she had a vivid dream of holding a child in her arms. When she woke, a strange warmth filled her body. Weeks after drinking the tea, Ngozi began to feel strange changes in her body. At first, she dismissed them as signs of aging, but soon she realized something unbelievable: she was pregnant. At 80 years old, Ngozi's joy was mixed with disbelief. How could this be? When her husband had passed away many years ago, her faith had carried her through decades of fasting and prayer, and now, against all odds, her prayers had been answered. The entire village was stunned when the news spread, and many flocked to her home to witness the miracle with their own eyes. 9 months passed in the blink of an eye, and Ngozi carried her pregnancy with a strength that defied her age. Ngozi's pregnancy journey was nothing short of extraordinary. Unlike the painful pregnancies of her past, this one seemed to fill her with strength and vitality. She carried the babies with ease, and as the months passed, her growing belly became a symbol of hope. Doctors from far and wide came to examine her, baffled by the medical impossibility of it all. Ngozi, however, knew deep down that this was not a mere coincidence, it was divine intervention. On the night of a full moon, she went into labor. The village women rushed to her aid, expecting a difficult birth for the elderly widow. But to everyone's amazement, the delivery was swift and painless. Despite her advanced age, Ngozi gave birth smoothly and without complications. The villagers who had gathered outside her home held their breath as they waited to hear news of the delivery. But what came next shocked them all. Ngozi had not given birth to 1 or 2 children, but 10. 5 boys and 5 girls, each as healthy and vibrant as the next. The news spread like wildfire across the country, drawing attention from every corner. The babies were quickly dubbed the miracle children. And soon, people from neighboring towns and cities made pilgrimages to see them. Ngozi's home became a hub of visitors seeking blessings, prayers, and answers. Some came out of curiosity, others out of faith, believing that touching the babies would bring them good fortune or even make them pregnant too. But as time passed, Ngozi began to notice strange things about her children. And what had started as a blessing soon took on an unsettling air. It didn't take long for Ngozi to notice that her children were unlike any others. They never cried, never fussed, and their dark eyes seemed to hold a depth far beyond their tender age. As the weeks passed, the children grew rapidly, reaching milestones that would take years in mere months. At 6 months old, they were walking and speaking with the clarity of 5-year-olds. Their intelligence and maturity were uncanny, as if they possessed memories and knowledge of another world. Villagers who once celebrated the miracle began to grow uneasy. Rumors spread that the children were not human at all, but spirit children sent by supernatural forces. Some believed the babies had come from the gods, while others feared they were a curse. Ngozi, torn between her deep love for her children and the growing suspicion in the village, knew she had to uncover the truth behind their strange abilities. As Ngozi observed her children, she realized that their memories were not their own. They spoke of places and events that had happened long before they were born, describing distant lands and ancient times with eerie accuracy. One night, her eldest son, Ngozi, told her of a past life where he had been a warrior king, fighting in a battle that took place centuries ago. The other children also began recounting similar stories, each one more vivid and detailed than the last. Disturbed by these revelations, Ngozi sought guidance from the village elders. Some of them believed that the children were indeed spirit beings, sent to the mortal world for a purpose that had yet to be revealed. Others urged Ngozi to seek answers from the healer who had given her the mysterious tea. As the village's fear grew, Ngozi knew that the time had come to confront the origin of her children. Ngozi tracked down the ancient healer, now living in a remote cave deep in the forest. She confronted him, demanding to know the truth about the tea he had given her and the children she had birthed. The healer revealed that the tea had been a gift from the spirit world, a powerful brew meant to open the gates between the realms. He explained that her children were indeed spirit beings, sent to her as part of a divine plan that she was destined to fulfill. At first, Ngozi was overwhelmed by the revelation. She had prayed for children for decades, but she had never expected to become the mother of spirit beings. The healer assured her that her children had come to bridge the gap between the living and the spirit world, and that their presence would bring blessings to the village. But Ngozi couldn't shake the feeling that something more sinister was at play. As the children continued to grow, so did the fear within the village. Strange occurrences began to happen. Crops failed, livestock disappeared, and an unexplained illness spread through the village. The once celebrated miracle had now become a source of fear, with many villagers blaming the children for the misfortunes. Ngozi, now caught between her loyalty to her children and her responsibility to the village, felt the weight of the burden grow heavier each day. In a desperate attempt to protect her children, Ngozi withdrew them from the public eye. But it was too late. Rumors had already spread beyond the village, reaching the ears of powerful individuals who saw the children as either a threat or an opportunity. Ngozi knew she had to act quickly before the situation spiraled out of control. One night, Ngozi had a vivid dream. In it, a spirit appeared before her, revealing the true purpose of her children. They had been sent to the world not as a curse but as a blessing. The spirit told her that the children held the key to restoring balance between the human and spirit realms and that their powers would be instrumental in healing the land. However, in order to unlock their full potential, Ngozi had to help them understand their true nature. Determined to protect her children and fulfill the prophecy, Nneka began teaching them about their spiritual origins. She taught them to use their powers for good, and soon the children began to work in harmony with the village, healing the sick and restoring the crops. The once fearful villagers began to see the children as a blessing once more, and Ngozi's faith in her children was fully restored. As the years passed, Ngozi's bond with her children grew stronger. They had become the protectors of the village, using their abilities to bring prosperity and peace. The village, once divided by fear, was now united in gratitude for the miraculous children who had come to save them. Ngozi, now a revered figure, often reflected on her journey from sorrow to joy, from hopelessness to fulfillment. Through it all, Ngozi realized that the greatest miracle wasn't the birth of her children, but the love she had cultivated for them, and the faith that had carried her through even the darkest of times. Her story became one of hope, a tale that spread far beyond her village, inspiring others to believe in the power of prayer, perseverance, and a mother's love. On the day of her 90th birthday, Ngozi gathered her children around her. They were now fully grown, each one a beacon of strength and wisdom, deeply connected to both the human and spirit realms. As they celebrated her life, Ngozi felt a sense of peace wash over her. She knew her time on earth was drawing to a close, but she was content knowing that her children would continue to protect and guide the village long after she was gone. That night, under the light of a full moon, Ngozi passed away peacefully in her sleep. The village mourned her deeply, but her legacy lived on through her children. They became known far and wide as the guardians of the land, and Ngozi's story became legend, passed down through generations as a tale of faith, love, and the miraculous power of the spirit world. Ngozi's story teaches us that life's greatest blessings often arrive when we least expect them, even after long seasons of barrenness and heartache. Her miraculous journey reminds us that patience and faith can yield rewards beyond understanding, and that every soul, no matter how late in life, has the potential to bring new life and purpose into the world. Sometimes the wait itself prepares us for the beauty and responsibility of the gifts to come. Thank you so much for watching and listening to this story. I would like to know the country you are watching from. Please write the name of your country in the comments section.